Let's talk New York Mets baseball. Okay, the Mets headed west to face a 3-10 Oakland team that has been having a rough season to say the least. I figured this season wouldn't be too much of a struggle for the Blue Hats, but I did not see this coming when I turned the game on, let me tell you. This game was absolutely horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. If you watch this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was hard to get through. Incredibly hard to get through. It was almost a joke. I'm not going to break down every inning of this game because it's just too much. I just want to touch on the highlights and give some thoughts on what I believe happened during this game. I hate to say it, but the Oakland A's played horribly. Actually, I don't hate to say it. It is what it is. They played absolutely horribly. And I don't want to harp on that, but it is what it is. And if you watch this game, you know what I'm talking about. As I said before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This game after the fourth or fifth inning was hard to get through. I mean, this type of performance, in my opinion, this is just my opinion only, can really hurt the MLB. There's already been a decline in viewership, and currently the MLB is doing everything that it can to try to turn that around, to try to make the game more exciting. We saw the pitch clock come into play. They're trying to shorten up the games. People were complaining about being there too long, but too many games like this can destroy its reputation or continue to further destroy its reputation. And, a game like this is honestly embarrassing for the league. That's just my opinion. Listen to these numbers. The Mets had 37 at-bats, 17 runs off 11 hits, 17 RBIs, and 17 walks. I repeat, 17 walks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad that the Mets had this much opportunity and things were going their way. It's working out for them. They're getting the win. I'm talking about the bigger picture for baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan, and I don't want to see baseball completely fail. And to make sure that that doesn't happen, I think the Major League Baseball, needs to do everything that they can to keep these games competitive. I mean, the Mets could have played a Triple-A team, and the results probably would have been better than what we saw last night. Oakland pitchers were throwing the ball in the dirt. The fielders were completely missing plays. There was a play in the outfield where he's trying to field the ball, and I mean, it just goes completely past his glove. Hits his wall. There was an infield fly, and the pitcher didn't even catch the ball. Maybe he lost the ball in the air, didn't even touch his glove. It just dropped right past him. I mean, it was so bad at one point. I thought the team was doing this on purpose because they're either tired of their conditions there in Oakland or they can't stand the GM and they're doing everything they can to try to get him fired. I mean, I couldn't put it together. I was like, these guys have to be doing this on purpose because this doesn't even seem realistic. This just seems crazy. Whatever the case is, I think it's going to work. And I think the team and Major League Baseball should do something fast. They should make a decision. If they're going to redo the stadium or build another stadium or move elsewhere, I know that could take who knows how much time or whatnot. So it's not going to be an overnight thing. But I think a decision should be made fast, whether they're going to try to do something to boost this team up or whatnot, or if they're just going to move them out of there. It's already been announced that they're possibly moving to another city. I heard them talking about Charlotte and a couple of other cities. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but they're just not doing anything about the stadium that's falling apart. During the game, it was announced that an investor pulled out last minute, so they lost some sponsorship or funding or something like that for the stadium. So the stadium is back to its original name from eons ago, from the very beginning when Oakland first got there, whenever that was, didn't look it up. But to be honest, I actually feel bad for the guys playing there and also the fans. I mean, this is just a horrible showing. Speaking of fans, this game was, honestly, played in front of a crowd of about 500 people. The stands were completely empty. It was not a good look for Major League Baseball at all. Once again, maybe I'm going too deep on this and it's not that big of a deal. Let me know. Tell me if I'm just making a big deal out of this and it's, it'll be fine. It'll just blow over or whatnot, but in my opinion, at the very least, it's not good. Anyway, this channel is about the Mets, so let's talk about them for a minute or two. I just wanted to get that out because I think it needed to be said. Moving along. As I said, the Mets were walked 17 times this game, a club record, and one walk away from the MLB record. Some innings, there were 4 and 5 walks in a row. Lindor had a grand slam with a total of 7 RBIs. Whether you're in Oakland or not, I'm pretty sure that feels good. I'm sure he's happy and was smiling at the end of the night. The funny part is the A's actually out hit the Mets 13 hits to 11. They also had a few home runs themselves, so I guess there was some good going on. It wasn't all just a complete clown show or whatnot. Marte had a double, 3 RBIs, a stolen base, and 3 walks. 3 walks, imagine that. Nimmo was another top performer, if you can say that, given the circumstances, with a double, 2 RBIs. He was hit by a pitch, and he was also walked twice. I mean, pretty much every Mets player got a little bit of offense in for the day. We're talking about 17 walks here. By the end of the game, the Mets had left 25 runners on base. So if you didn't stay up that late and watch the game, that should give you an idea of what was going on for the last 4 or 5 innings of this game. It was out of this world. I couldn't believe it. Kodai Senga had the start. That ghost of Japan. He's got that ghost fork. He had the start. Buck pulled him before the 5-inning requirement for the win. I think Buck was just saving Senga's arm. They were up by 8 when he pulled him. Senga pitched 4.2 innings. Oakland got 7 hits off of him, 4 runs. He walked 4, but he struck out 7, which is good. He ended with a 3.38 ERA, with Oakland going yard on him twice. So, I mean, it wasn't Senga's best performance, and his ERA was up there a little bit. We've seen him down in the 1 point whatever's, 1.5s, in that area. So he went up a little bit with those homers and whatnot. Not his best performance, but to be honest, I think it was hard for Senga and the Mets to take Oakland serious. It almost seemed like a glorified batting practice session. There was no competitive fire whatsoever. It just seemed like both the teams were just out there. There was no crowd, there was no noise. They were just lobbing the ball back and forth at each other. It was out of here. It was out of this world. The final score was 17-6 Mets, of course. That's a football game right there, folks. That's what, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I mean, that's a football game right there. It was tough to watch on many levels, and really didn't show the MLB in the best light. Given that the MLB is a multi-billion-dollar business, in my opinion, was not good. No fault of the Mets, might I add. And that's not me being biased because this is a Mets channel. I'm just telling the truth. The Oakland players, fans, I feel for you. You got a lot of work to do out there, or just let it go. One of the two for sure. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. There was a bunch of walks, a bunch of hits, a bunch of players getting hit, all kinds of lunacy going on this game. The Mets came out on top. They got the win 17-6. They'll be back in Oakland again tonight. I think it's the same time, same place. Hopefully this one won't be as bad of a showing from Oakland, and we get some competitive baseball, some real baseball. Who knows what we're going to get? It could end up being the same thing. Who knows? Some crazy crap might happen, and we might see Oakland turn around and beat the Mets. I hope that the Mets don't fall asleep on them and let them take this daggone series. Talk about embarrassment. That would be one of the most embarrassing things that could possibly happen. They better not let that happen. But I don't think it'll happen. I mean, I'm just giving up crazy scenarios because, we've seen crazy things happen. But that's it for now. They'll be playing again tonight. I'll check back in later on. We'll have the lineup coming out later on this afternoon. And until then, as always, let's go Mets.